Hello guys, welcome to All Force e-learning. Let us make a discussion on a concept related to rotational dynamics in physics. Before going to discuss in deep in rotational dynamics, so let us make a brief idea related to the linear quantities and angular quantities. So here the linear quantity is displacement, angular quantity, angular displacement. Angular displacement is analogous to linear displacement, and similarly linear velocity, angular velocity. Angular velocity is analogous to linear velocity, and linear acceleration, angular acceleration. Similarly, mass, moment of inertia, similar quantities. Here linear momentum, angular momentum. So linear momentum P is equal to mv, m mass here. Here angular momentum, mass, similar quantity, moment of inertia here I. P is equal to mv, mass and velocity. Angular momentum, moment of inertia and angular velocity. And similarly, F is equal to ma and tau is equal to I alpha. Translational kinetic energy, half m square. Rotational kinetic energy, half I omega square. So kinetic energy equal to P square by 2m. Here rotational kinetic energy L square by 2I. Work done in translational motion, integration of F into ds. That in rotational motion, that work done is equal to integration of tau d theta. Yes, this is a brief idea how we relate the quantities belongs to the linear motion and quantities belongs to rotational motion. So what makes extra edge to make the discussion over it? So you might have the idea over these linear quantities. You can easily switch over the angular quantities to understand and recall the relevant formulae to make the problems easy. So this is a simple way to understand how they are related to each other, how they are analogous to linear quantities. Okay, next let us move on another concept, which is a very basic and very important concept, which is inertia. So generally so many students are getting confusion what exactly the inertia. So I try my level best to make it understand properly. So inertia is inherent property of a body which always resists its change of state. Means a body itself is not getting change of state by itself without any external mean. Any body is not applying a force on the body itself is not getting any motion. Or a body is in motion, it never comes to rest by applying any external force. So here the point is very clear. Any body in the nature, living or non-living things, any body, that body never change its state by itself without any external mean. Without any external force acting on the body never changes its state from rest into motion and motion into rest. So this is known as inertia. So body is keeping on the table. The body never move itself. So somebody should apply the force on it and changing its position from table surface to somewhere. So the property of a body by which it cannot change its state by itself is known as inertia. So this inertia, in case of translational motion, how can we measure? In case of rotational motion, how can we measure the inertia? So one doubt is that generally the student will get a doubt. Sir, inertia is the property is only meant for a body moving in translational motion? No. Whether the body is in rotational motion, it should also having its own property, which is inertia, and also in translational motion has inertia. So let us make a clear idea over the inertia belongs to translational and related to rotational motion. See here, when a body moving in translational motion, suppose a car is moving on the road, it has mass. Whenever a car is suddenly takes a motion, then a person who is sitting inside, he will fall back. So when a sudden brakes are applied, he will get a small movement forward. This is happening because of inertia property. So a body is already in motion, so that always continues to move in the same straight path with same velocity. If any changes are taking place, so the body never accepts the changes at that moment immediately. So this kind of property is known as inertia. So here a body moving on the road, it has a mass m. So I want to find the inertia of a car. So here the inertia of car can be estimated by its mass. Mass is measure of inertia in translational motion. Keep in your mind. Mass is a measure of inertia in translational motion. If mass is measured, so we can estimate the inertia of translational motion of a body. Right? So similar way, if you go for rotational body, that body will also having inertia. Let us move on a suitable example. Fan. When a fan is rotating, all of a sudden the electricity is switched off. Then fan never comes to rest immediately. Still it is rotating for certain time. Why it is so? Because of inertia property. Suppose the fan is at rest, the electricity is switched on. Immediately the fan never reach to the maximum angular velocity. Here also, fan is slowly starts with increasing angular velocity and reaches to a stable state. What is so? Because of inertia. So rotating object is also having its own inertia property. How can you measure that inertia of a body which is in rotational motion? For that, we use a quantity which is known as moment of inertia. Moment of inertia, which is represented by I. So very clear, a body which is in translational motion, it has inertia. A body is in rotational motion, which is also possessing inertia. But the inertia of a body which in translational motion can be measured by mass, whereas the inertia of a body which is in rotational motion measured by moment of inertia, which is represented by I. This is a clear concept, how it makes the difference between the inertia and the moment of inertia. And the moment of inertia plays main role in this chapter. And majority of the problems which were linked with this moment of inertia. Therefore, any student, any aspirant should have a clear-cut concept over this moment of inertia and also inertia. Let us move on inertia and with its varieties. So inertia is of three varieties. Which inertia? Inertia of a rotating object, which is called moment of inertia. Yes, the moment of inertia can be calculated in three different situations. Situation 1. Let us consider a particle of mass m, which is moving in a circular path about a fixed axis at a distance r. Now its moment of inertia means this particle has its inertia property. This inertia property can be measured by moment of inertia I. Then I can be measured, I can be calculated by using a formula. I is equal to mr square. It is a simplest formula for a particle which is moving in a circular path about a fixed axis. Yes, this is the simplest formula. And here the particle, in the sense there is no dimension at all. The particle has no dimensions. Dimensions in the sense that radius. So its radius is ignored. No dimension is there. Such kind of body means particle which has moment of inertia by the simplest formula I is equal to mr square. And units, mass kg, or distance meter and square, kg meter square in SI system, and in CGS system gram centimeter square. So this is one variety of moment of inertia. And second variety of moment of inertia. Let us find the moment of inertia of a system of particles. Let us consider a system of particles of masses m1, m2, so on, mn. A group of particles. The system of particles where the particles having different masses which are at different distances from the axis of rotation. Say this is R1 and this is R2 and so on, this is Rn. Its moment of inertia can be estimated by adding the individual moment of inertia of the particles. Now I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus so on In. I is equal to m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus so on mn rn square. So which gives us summation of I is equal to 1 to n. Simply we can write it as mi ri square. This is the moment of inertia of a system of particles. And this is second variety of moment of inertia calculating for system of particles. And for third variety is, this is a particle, here a system of particles. And third variety is, there is a rigid body of continuous mass distribution. Means we cannot take a single particle in it. It is a continuous mass distribution of irregular body, rigid body. Let us consider a small elemental mass in it, dm, which is at a distance r from the axis of rotation. So in this rigid body, we can imagine so many identical elemental masses, dm, so many are there. So let us consider one such element, dm, which is at a distance r from the axis of rotation. Then its moment of inertia. Whose moment of inertia? That elemental mass which is selected from this rigid body. How many are there? So many elemental masses are imagined in it. And we are considering one such element. That element has its moment of inertia. di is equal to dm into r square. It is quite similar to a particle which is moving in circular path about a fixed axis. Simplest formula. Why? Because here in this rigid body, we are selecting elemental mass. Elemental mass is quite similar to a particle. Therefore, we are taking the moment of inertia of this elemental mass. Therefore, here by taking integration on both sides, I is equal to integration dm r square. This is the way to find the moment of inertia of a rigid body of continuous mass distribution. So these are the three varieties by which we can estimate the moment of inertia of a given particle or a system of particle and also continuous mass distribution. So no other way at all, only three ways to find the moment of inertia. This is very, very important point. Okay, the next, let us move for another concept, which is radius of gyration. Radius of gyration is also one of the very, very important concept. So when the aspirant is not clear about this, again he will get so many hurdles while solving the problems in future in the chapter. So that keep in your mind and listen carefully. And one more point, this video is making especially for revision students, that already first year completed students, they are preparing for IIT mains and advanced level right now. Okay, so keep in your mind, this is a very important note. This lecture is for the students who completed the first year and second year they are going to appear the examination G mains and advanced level. Okay, the next here, the radius of gyration K. What does it mean? What exactly the radius of gyration? Let us consider a regular body. Suppose a circular disc rotating about its central axis, whose mass is capital M and radius is capital R. Its moment of inertia I is equal to mr square by 2. So this disc is totally converted into a point mass. Then what to do? This point mass is to be rotated about the same fixed axis at a distance so as to have the same moment of inertia as that of this disc. See here, this total mass, this disc is totally converted into a point mass. So here it is converted into point mass, and which is going to be rotate, going to be move in circular path about this fixed axis at a distance k. For what? To have the same moment of inertia as that of this disc. Means its moment of inertia is estimated mk square. Now this is equation 1, this is equation 2. According to definition, the moment of inertia of this disc should be equal to moment of inertia of this particle which is made from this disc and making circular motion about the fixed axis at a particular distance, which is known as the radius of gyration. And it's very simple to make a definition. See, the radius of gyration of a rigid body. The radius of gyration of a rigid body about a fixed axis is defined as effective distance where the whole mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated so as to have the same moment of inertia as that of the given object. I repeat once again. Radius of gyration of a regular body about a fixed axis is defined as the effective distance from the axis of rotation where the whole mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated so as to have the same moment of inertia of this object. This is radius of gyration. So this radius of gyration can be found by equating these two. Mk square is equal to mr square by 2. Gets cancelled. K is equal to r by root 2. So its meaning is, when you make this disk into a point mass which is to be rotated and which is to be moved along the circular path about a fixed point at a distance of r by root 2, where you will find the moment of inertia which is equal to the moment of inertia of this disk. This is the meaning of radius of gyration. If you go for another example, see, for a circular ring, its mass is m, radius is r, its moment of inertia is equal to mr square, and this ring is converted into a point mass which is to be moved around this same axis at a distance of k. For what? So as to have the same moment of inertia as that of the ring. Therefore, we should equate them. Here I is equal to mk square. Equating them, mk square is equal to mr square. You will get k is equal to r. At what distance this point mass is to be rotated? At exactly r distance. Then its moment of inertia will be equal to moment of inertia of given object about the given axis. Right? So we can make a formula to find the moment of inertia. Very simple formula. I is equal to mk square. Yes, k is equal to root over I by m. So here, if you know the moment of inertia I of any regular body, suppose disk, mr square by 2 by m, gets cancelled, r by root 2. Suppose if it is a circular ring, then k is equal to root over I by m. I, moment of inertia of circular ring, mr square by m gets cancelled, which is giving r. So this is a formula related to radius of gyration. And there is one more method to find the moment of inertia in different situations. What is that? If it is system of particles. Suppose it is a regular body, we are finding like this, where there is a system which has so many particles, under which radius of gyration system. How do we find this? Let us see. Let us consider a system of particles of mass m1, m2 and so on, mn. These are at distances r1 and r2, so on, rn from the axis of rotation. Now its moment of inertia, total moment of inertia of system is m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus so on, mn rn square. If m1 is equal to, m2 is equal to, so on, mn is equal to m. Now I is equal to m r1 square plus r2 square plus so on, rn square. So it is multiplied and divided by n. Then equation leads to I is equal to n into m. Means n particles are there, so each of mass m, then n into m, which gives us capital M, total mass of the system. This is total mass r1 square plus r2 square plus so on, rn square by n. I is equal to, we are finding the radius of gyration, therefore instead of I, let us substitute mk square, that equal to m r1 square plus r2 square plus so on, rn square by n. mm gets cancelled. K is equal to root over r1 square plus r2 square plus 1 rn square by m. This is one more formula to find the radius of gyration of a system of particles. I would like to stress on this point. Radius of gyration can be estimated for a regular body. For that, I was given already explanation for circular disc and ring and so on. If any body is given, if you know the moment of inertia about a given axis, you can easily estimate the radius of gyration by that formula. Now this is another way. Suppose if it is not regular body, it is a system of particles, then under which the radius of gyration can be estimated by this formula. So let us make a discussion over the problems related to this radius of gyration for system of particles. Example 1. Suppose there are 4 identical particles in a system. 4 identical particles, m, m, m and m. These are at distances 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter and 4 meter from the axis of rotation. Then its radius of gyration as a whole for the system is, so which can be found, K is equal to root over r1 square 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus 4 square by 4, which gives us root over 30 by 4, which gives 2.7 meters. So this is the way to find the radius of gyration if it is a system of particles having identical masses. Suppose if they are not identical in mass, suppose its mass is 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg and 4 kg. Say example. Then how do you find the radius of gyration? Radius of gyration K is equal to, so here I is equal to, first of all let us estimate the moment of inertia, m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square plus m4 r4 square by, sorry, enough. Now this is 1 into 1 square plus 2 into 2 square plus 3 into 3 square plus 4 into 4 square. You simplify this, you will get some finite amount. Then mk square, k square is equal to, so this is 1 into 1 square plus 2 into 2 square plus 3 into 3 square plus 4 into 4 square by total mass. Total mass how much? 4, 3, 7, 7, 3, 10. 10. By simplifying this, so you will get a radius of gyration. If their mass is given and their corresponding distance is given from the axis of rotation, you can estimate the radius of gyration by this method, system of particles, and identical masses are given, and this is the way to find radius of gyration. Okay, so I expect that you are properly understood this concept. So let us move to next concept.